little griselles. Oh, by the way, I like to do accents, so accents will come into the videos, just go with it. Today we're going to be doing a book haul, a bunch of books that have recently come into my home, so let's get started. A bunch of different genres here, everything from fantasy to mystery, some nonfiction. At the very end, I'll share one that is definitely my favorite and where you can pick it up for yourself if you're interested. The first book I'm going to talk about is Castle Witch. This is a book by a friend of mine, Madeline Elizabeth, and I'm so excited to finally have her beautiful book. I love this cover. Orphaned by war and the last of her kind, Edda agrees to stay on as the Castle Witch for the bastard lord, Æson Crenley. Their friendship has brought success, wealth, and harmony to the castle. With it, the jealous greed of the elder lords. Edda must redefine her place with the magic she's tied to and the people who love her for it. There's a lot of nature elements that I've heard, and also I love castles. Like, that already sounds like a fun ride. Excited for this one. So I'm a huge Agatha Christie fan. I love the Poirot BBC show as well with David Suchet, Miss Marple murder mysteries. One of my favorite Agatha Christie's actually is the one called The ABC Murders. Yeah, that's a big one. And I just finished this year Death on the Nile. So that's another one I adore. So I had to do this one, The Murder on the Links. And I'm actually planning on doing a video where I attempt to solve this. I was inspired by Chantel from Chantel Reads All to try and solve a murder mystery in one of Agatha Christie's books, and this is the one I'm going to try first. And she has a ton of videos on her channel where she tries to solve the murder mysteries in a ton of Agatha Christie books, and so I wanted to try my hand as well because I was really inspired by those. Thank you, Chantel. A quick rundown of what this one is about. When Hercule Poirot rushes to France in response to an urgent and cryptic plea from a client, he arrives just too late. The man who had summoned him is found dead on a golf course, stabbed in the back with a letter opener and wearing an ill-fitting coat, with a mysterious love letter in its pocket. Strange circumstances multiply, culminating in the discovery of a second body stabbed with the same weapon. While the local authorities pursue the lead suggested by the evidence, Poirot relies instead upon his famous little griselles. Oh, by the way, I like to do accents, so accents will come into the videos, just go with it. The little griselles cut through the confusion and untangle the fiendishly clever mystery. Next up is another mystery. This is called The Maid by Nita Prose. Who here has heard about this book? I've heard that it's really good and that it is one of those that you can't put down, and also that it's cozy. I haven't actually read any of these. These are just books that I'm just hauling these, so like I don't know what's in these, but I've heard good things. A dead body is one mess she can't clean up on her own. Molly Gray is not like everyone else. She struggles with social skills and misreads the intentions of others. Her gran used to interpret the world for her, codifying it into simple rules that Molly could live by. Since Gran died a few months ago, 25-year-old Molly has been navigating life's complexities all by herself. She throws herself with gusto into her work as a hotel maid. Her unique character, along with her obsessive love of cleaning and proper etiquette, makes her an ideal fit for the job. But Molly's orderly life is upended the day she enters the suite of the infamous and wealthy Charles Black, only to find it in a state of disarray and Mr. Black himself dead in his bed. Sounds very fun. The next book that I want to talk about is a thriller, The Blonde Identity by Ali Carter. This one was recommended by a friend. It says it's the middle of the night in Paris and a woman just woke up with no memory. She only knows 3 things for certain. 1, she has a splitting headache. 2, the hottest guy she has probably ever seen is standing over her telling her to run. And oh yeah, 3, people keep trying to kill her. So I've heard this is a spy, thriller, espionage, rom-com type situation, romance. This looks like so much fun. Also, pink. Observe, there is pink. If there's pink on a cover, I'll be interested. What's not to love? The B-roll, right? I'm not gonna show this part to you guys, right? Why would I do that? This one is new to my home. It's called Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie Holmberg. I love magical house books, anything where there's a house or a hotel, an inn, a tavern, some sort of a place where magic occurs. Writer Merritt Fernsby is surprised when he inherits a remote estate. Though the property has been uninhabited for more than a century, Merritt is ready to call it home, until he realizes he has no choice. With its doors slamming shut and locking behind him, Wimbrel House is not about to let Merritt leave, ever. That sounds like a ride. Okay, this one was sent to me by my dear friend Lauren, so thank you so much, Lauren. A nonfiction book, Anne of Green Gables, My Daughter and Me, is by Laura Lee Craker, a memoir. So it says, what my favorite book taught me about grace, belonging, and the orphan in all of us. What's an orphan? The question from her 7-year-old adopted daughter, Phoebe, during a bedtime reading of Anne of Green Gables, stopped Laura Lee Craker in her tracks. How could she answer her daughter when Laura Lee herself, adopted, had wrestled all her life with feeling orphaned, lost, alone, bereft, and had learned too well that not every story has a happy ending? Laura Lee set off on a quest to find answers in the pages of the very book that had started it all. This sounds like a really fun read, and thank you again, Lauren, for sending this my way. Anne of Green Gables is definitely one of my favorite books. An indie published book that is a biblical retelling in a fantasy setting. How good does that sound? I mean, you never hear about fantasy retellings of Bible stories. A Crown of Chains by Aaron Phillips. Check out this gorgeous cover, you guys. Like, look at this cover. I believe this is an Esther inspired. When the queen is exiled, every beautiful young woman in Florencia is forced to become king's maids, royal concubines, but one lucky girl from those gathered will be chosen as queen, or maybe not so lucky. Roxana Willows, a wingless fairy with the rare ability to read minds, has seen King Frederick's cruelty in the stories her uncle tells, and fears that the only thing worse being a king's maid is being the king's wife. While her heart already belongs to another, she feels obligated to obey her uncle when he tells her to hide her heritage as a fairy in hopes of being chosen as queen. But becoming queen is the last thing Roxana wants, and it will cost her everything. Another fantasy, and it is by Kara Swanson. It's called Dust. This is a big favorite of my friend Emily. She loves this book, and it is actually a bit of a Peter Pan retelling, or at least it has Peter Pan vibes. I have read the first chapter so far of this book. It was very intriguing right off the bat. Claire Kenton believes the world is too dark for magic to be real, since her twin brother was stolen away as a child. Now Claire's desperate search points to London and a boy who shouldn't exist. Peter Pan is having a beastly time getting back into Neverland. Grounded in London and hunted by his own lost boys, Peter searches for the last hope of restoring his crumbling island, alas, with magic in her veins. And the final book is not a fantasy, it is not a mystery, it's the Bible, you guys. So look at this cover, look at these flowers, and I just love wildflowers and big blue open skies. And the verse on the back is this one. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11, verse 28. It's stunning, and it is from a company called Hosanna Revival. If you love Jesus or you're just starting to get to know him, check out these Bibles. They're so, so beautiful. Every single one is just gorgeously crafted, and you can find a cover that really suits you, that suits your personality, or maybe when you look at the picture, maybe you experience his love when you look at it. And for me, when I look at this cover, every single wildflower, and he made every single one, and he made every bird in the sky, and knows every hair on your head. And what's so comforting to me about that is that he loves us even more than the wildflowers, even more than the birds. Look at how he clothes them, and look at how he takes care of them. This cover just reminds me of God's faithfulness and the beauty that he's put all around me. How could I not be in love with him? How could I not be in awe of him when I look at his creation that's here? It's gorgeous. It's a book that brings me a lot of comfort, answers for me, and it's honestly all the joy that I have in my life right now. Check it out. So that's it, you guys. A little book haul. I hope you enjoyed that, and hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.